Welcome to Skedline. It's April 4th. Here are today's top stories. Students at 600 Ontario schools are walking out today to protest the province's changes to the education system. They are protesting class size changes. High school classes will on average grow from 22 to 28 students, and grades 4 to 8 classes will increase from 23.84 to 24.5 students. Education Minister Lisa Thompson sparked debate last month when she said bigger classes will help students build resilience. Nearly 30% of school children in Toronto are not fully vaccinated by age 7 as required by law, but it's currently impossible to tell which diseases these children are not vaccinated for and why they are not. The Ottawa Public Health Agency has confirmed a case of measles in the city, and a warning has been issued for people without the vaccination who are pregnant, work in the childcare sector, have a young child. The infected person was at a Real Canadian Superstore, Ottawa West Travel Clinic, and the Queensway Carleton Hospital Emergency Room, among other places. If you notice symptoms including fever, cough, white spots in the mouth, or a red rash, you're recommended to go to the hospital. A Kingston, Ontario youth is facing terrorism charges after is being released on bail. Conditions of his release are that he must be accompanied by one of 2 approved family members at all times, is forbidden to use the internet unless it's for educational purposes, must remain in Ontario, and wear an electronic monitoring device. The child was charged in January after a series of raids in Kingston after a tip from the FBI in December. They are being accused of knowingly facilitating terrorist activity and counseling another person to participate in terrorism activity. Crew members on the Ethiopian airline Flight 302 that crashed last month, killing all 157 people on board, followed correct procedures. The Boeing MAX 737-8 experienced nosedive conditions, according to Ethiopia's Minister of Transportation. A report released this week recommends the flight control system be reviewed and verified before the aircraft is allowed to fly again. A preliminary investigation found that there are similarities between this crash and the Lion Air one in October. U.S. Democrats have requested for 6 years of President Donald Trump's taxes from the IRS. A letter to the IRS requests individual and business returns, including information on whether any of them have been audited, to be delivered to Capitol Hill within a week. Speaking at the White House on Wednesday, Trump signaled opposition to the request. He's continuously considered review of his taxes a no-no for investigators. Now to Cassie Turco for your entertainment news.
Thanks, Ryan. I'm Cassandra Turco, and here's your entertainment news of the day. Celine Dion says au revoir to her Vegas show and hello to her world tour. After 15 years of performing at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace, the 51-year-old Canadian musician is set to tour for the first time in over a decade. Celine will perform her first 2 shows on the Courage World Tour in Quebec City on September 18th. Her final show is in Vegas on June 8th. A new album is also in the works and will be released later this year. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have a new Instagram account. The couple have taken to social media to provide a place to share their work, causes they support, and important announcements. Harry and Meghan want to use this Instagram account, @SussexRoyal, to shine a light on key issues that they care about. According to Guinness World Records, this account is the fastest ever to gain 1 million followers within a record time of 6 hours. The first post, after the intro, showed Prince Harry meeting with families and young adults at the YMCA in South England. Harry is passionate about mental health and conquering the stigma around it, saying, "Let's keep reminding each other that it's okay not to be okay, and listen to each other." The newest Joker trailer is out, and it's terrifying. Joaquin Phoenix is the new clown prince of crime. The trailer, which was just released, shows the Joker as a failed stand-up comedian who is driven insane and becomes a psychopathic murderer. This film is solely devoted to the Joker, one of the most famous DC villains. The film had a $55 million budget and premieres in October. Britney Spears has reportedly checked herself into a mental facility after being stressed about her father's current health battle and hospitalization. Spears shared a post on Instagram saying, "Fall in love with taking care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit," in the midst of her father's illness. The star took an indefinite hiatus from performing in January to take care of her father, who was rushed to the hospital because of a ruptured colon back in November. Her caption said, "We all need time to take a little me time." The news of admitting herself followed the post. Last but certainly not least, calling all Jonas Brothers fans. A new song is being released tomorrow, and it will be the coolest one yet. The brothers have advertised the newest song on social media for the past week, saying, "Trust us when we say this song is cool." You guessed it, the name of the song is Cool. You can pre-save their song on jonasbrothers.com to hear it first. Thanks for watching. I'm Cassandra Turco for skedline.com. Here's Brandon Treader with sports.
Thanks, Cassie. My name is Brandon Treader, and this is everything you need to know in the world of sports. It was a potential first-round matchup for the Raptors last night in Brooklyn, as the second-place Raps took on the seventh-place Nets. Toronto walked away with a 115-105 win. It was also a showdown of most improved player candidates D'Angelo Russell and Pascal Siakam. Russell had 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists, while Spicy P was the game's leading scorer with 28 points, 10 boards, and 5 assists. The Raptors are back in action Friday night in Charlotte to take on the Hornets. We're down to the Final Four in the NCAA tournament. Things get underway Saturday at 6 in Minneapolis when Virginia takes on Auburn. Then Michigan State takes on Texas Tech in the second game. We won't have a Skedline Sports special this week, but Mike and Aaron have you covered. Head over to skedline.com for their preview of the Final Four. The $50 million man came to play last night for the Blue Jays. Fresh off a 5-year, $52 million contract extension, Randall Grichuk went 3 for 4 with 2 solo home runs, helping the Jays to a 5-3 win over the Baltimore Orioles. Matt Shoemaker was brilliant on the mound, tossing 7 innings of 2-hit shutout ball with 8 strikeouts. Ken Giles came in relief of Daniel Hudson in the 9th. He struck out both the batters he faced to pick up the save. Aaron Sanchez takes the mound for the Jays tonight in Cleveland. First pitch is scheduled for just after 6 p.m. The Leafs are in Tampa tonight to take on the Lightning in a meaningless game. There's a possibility that the Buds will dress 7 defensemen tonight, as they might be working Jake Gardiner back into the lineup. The Leafs will wrap up their regular season Saturday night in Montreal before kicking off their first-round playoff series next week in Boston. That game will likely get underway Thursday night when the Leafs take on the Bruins in the first round again. Sticking with hockey, the Canadian national women's team is in Finland for the World Championships. Team Canada smashed Switzerland 6-0 today in their tournament opener. Emily Clark tallied 2 goals, while Shannon Zabados made 6 saves to record the shutout. Finally, check out this inspirational video of former Arizona Coyotes prospect Craig Cunningham. Cunningham suffered a heart attack before a game in 2016, which resulted in him having his leg amputated. Cunningham posted this incredible video on his Instagram account of him making his return to the ice for the first time since the incident. That's just awesome. This has been our final Skedline broadcast of the year. Thank you all for joining us. Be sure to come back in September for our coverage of your Stanley Cup champion, Toronto Maple Leafs.